DID has been mistaken for many things in the past: borderline personality disorder, schizophrenia, and in some cultures, possession. It has been heavily stigmatized as this horrifying disease in fiction like lycanthropy, in which you cannot help but to be a monster. DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder, is a mental disorder in which one has at least two distinct alternate personality states. In order to understand this disorder, you must first understand what it means to dissociate. Dissociating is a common coping mechanism found in young people who have faced trauma. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, dissociative disorders are characterized by an involuntary escape from reality, characterized by a disconnection between thoughts, identity, consciousness, and memory. When one is feeling dissociated, they feel detached from reality. These episodes often have a dreamlike quality, as though it's an out-of-body experience. They feel as though everything around them is not real, in spite of the fact that they know that it is. Dissociation is often a symptom of trauma, and it is as a result of trauma that DID forms. DID is caused by severe or repeated trauma before the age of 10. At around 10, your personality fully integrates into one unified whole. Though personalities change over time, your personality still bears a continuous, recognizable pattern that is intrinsically you. If a child experiences such severe trauma or repeated trauma before this can happen, however, that process is interrupted, and instead of unifying, the personality, in a sense, can split. This split results in the first alter forming. The first alter is often a trauma holder and/or protector. This alter will hold the memories of trauma so that the host, or the original personality, doesn't have to. A protector is an alter who will smoothly take over when the host is distressed. A common theme in such alters is that they will be someone that the traumatized child believes that their trauma could not have happened to. For example, if a female child was sexually abused, they may be of the belief that a grown male would not have experienced such trauma, and as such, their first alter would take the form of a grown male. Alters are the brain's way of protecting itself. So, alters switch with the host personality in times of stress. Switches are not supposed to be noticeable. The idea is a defense mechanism. When in an environment that they're not comfortable with, you shouldn't be able to notice when an alter switches out. When an alter switches out, they're changing who is fronting, or who's controlling the body. During an interview, YouTuber Multiplicity and Me says that having DID is very much like driving a car. Imagine your car is the body, and whoever's in the driver's seat is driving the body. Co-consciousness is when there's more than one of you in the car. She goes on to relate how much control over the body she has to how much control she would have over a car. If she's fronting, she's in the driver's seat. If she's co-con or co-conscious, she might be in the passenger seat, where she's able to see and hear everything around her, and if need be, she can reach over and take the wheel. Or she might be in the back seat, able to see and hear everything around her, but not having any control. But if she's in the trunk, she'll have no memories of that time. In times like these, the one in the metaphorical trunk would likely be in their inner world. Inner worlds can take any shape: a castle, a house, a car, anything. Inner worlds are created by the brain for alters to spend their time and hopefully develop and heal the host's psyche. It is important to remember that DID is the brain's way of protecting itself and healing itself. According to analytical psychotherapist Dr. Accaroni, it is the most primitive, fundamental survival system. It's a coping mechanism for those who have faced severe trauma. But in spite of this disorder is dramatized as something awful. A perfect example of the stigma surrounding this disorder is the movie Split. Rather than having the main character, Kevin, accurately portray this disorder, he is written in a way that capitalizes on the audience's fear of the unknown. It plays on the common belief that people with mental illnesses are dangerous, even threatening, consequently perpetuating the stigma. The film depicts those who have DID as being some unstoppable monster with supernatural powers who should be feared above anything. But in contrast to the way that it's portrayed in the media, those with DID are much more likely to become victims of abuse again rather than to be the abuser. DID has been heavily stigmatized as something horrible, but it is the complete opposite. It has been misconstrued as awful things like demonic possession or the sign of a murderer. But these misconceptions could not be further from the truth.